Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sip and Talk. Ready for another deep dive? But before we get to all that, what have you been up to? Anything exciting?
Well, I finally managed to, perfect my sourdough starter. It only took like 3 months of trying, so yeah. Breakfast game has changed for sure. What about you?
Oh, I've been completely obsessed with this new Korean drama.
Oh, yeah?
It's got romance, intrigue, like amazing fashion. I'm hooked.
Speaking of Korea, did you see that Taiwan ranked really high on that, the list of most popular countries?
I saw that.
Like number 2 in Asia, right behind Japan.
It's amazing. Go Taiwan. But what's interesting is that a big part of that popularity is probably because of soft power.
Oh, for sure.
Which, by the way, is exactly what we are diving into today.
You got it. We've talked about this concept before, but today we're going all in.
Yes.
We're going to talk about what it is, why it matters, and, is it really as important as people say it is?
Yeah, as it all it's cracked up to be.
Right.
So for anyone who needs a refresher, let's break down exactly what soft power means.
Okay, so think of it as the ability to influence other people.
Okay.
Not through like force or, money, but by making your ideas and your culture attractive to other people. So instead of forcing someone to do something, you're making them want to do it.
Okay, so it's like instead of, military action or sanctions or something like that, it's more like you're winning hearts and minds with awesome music, delicious food, groundbreaking technology.
Exactly.
Things like that.
Yeah, it's all about creating a positive image for your country.
Okay.
That makes other people want to be like, your friend, your ally, or even, your business partner.
So it's kind of like how K-pop has kind of taken over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people are obsessed with the music, the fashion, the whole vibe. And that's given South Korea a huge boost on the global stage, right?
Oh, yeah. It's not even just the immediate economic benefits either. You got to think about all the fans, right? They're more likely to learn about the culture,
right? Visit
Korea, maybe even do business there.
Yeah, it's true. It's like this ripple effect that goes way beyond just catchy tunes and, dance moves and stuff. It's about shaping perceptions.
Right.
And influencing behavior in subtle but very powerful ways.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is where it gets interesting because, there's a lot of debate about how essential soft power really is in today's world.
Okay, I'm ready to rumble. In this corner, we have the ultimate soft power believer. I think it's absolutely crucial for countries to cultivate a positive image and build relationships, through cultural exchange and diplomacy.
Okay, and in the other corner, we have the skeptic.
Oh, boy.
Lay it on us. Why the skepticism?
All right, I'll play devil's advocate here. In a world where things can get messy, sometimes you just need hard power to get things done. When a country is facing, an actual threat, military might or economic sanctions can be, the most effective way to protect its interests.
Okay, so you're saying sometimes you need, a little bit of muscle, a little bit of oomph.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like having a fire extinguisher.
Right.
You hope you never need to use it, but it's good to have it just in case.
Just in case, yeah.
I gotcha.
And, sometimes soft power can feel, I don't know, a little superficial, like putting lipstick on a pig. If a country is engaging in shady stuff behind the scenes, all the cultural charm in the world can't really erase that.
Oh, yeah. It's like that saying, you can polish a turd.
Exactly.
But it's still a turd.
So, while I appreciate a good K-pop song as much as the next person, I'm not totally convinced that soft power alone can, solve all the world's problems.
Okay, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But I think you're underestimating the power of attraction.
Okay.
And persuasion. Think about Switzerland, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, Switzerland, land of chocolate, cheese, and neutrality.
Exactly. They've built this image very carefully of precision and reliability and neutrality, and it's given them this unique advantage.
Okay, how so?
Well, think about their banking industry. People trust Swiss banks because of their reputation for secrecy and stability.
It's true.
And that reputation has attracted trillions of dollars in assets from all around the world,
wow,
making Switzerland one of the wealthiest countries.
So they've turned their reputation into a gold mine.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's not just money either.
Right.
Think about the role that Switzerland plays in diplomacy. They often act as mediators in conflicts.
Right.
Hosting peace talks, providing aid.
So their neutrality kind of gives them more influence on the world stage.
Exactly, yeah. It's like they've turned soft power into a superpower, They're not the biggest country. They're not the strongest.
Right.
But they figured out a way to carve out this unique and influential role for themselves in the world.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But, wouldn't you say Switzerland is kind of a unique situation? It's not like every country can just declare themselves neutral and become, this diplomatic powerhouse.
True, yeah. But it's a good example of how a country can leverage its strengths, its culture, its values, to build a positive image and attract other people.
All right. You're making some good points here.
Yeah.
I still have some reservations, though. Like, how do you measure how effective soft power is?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Right.
It's not like you can just quantify it like military spending or economic output, but I think you can see its impact.
Okay.
In a country's tourism revenue, its ability to attract foreign investment, the level of international cooperation it has.
I guess you have a point. It's like that saying, you can't put a price tag on good PR.
Yeah, exactly. It's tricky trying to figure out how to actually measure it.
Yeah.
But think about it this way. You can look at, how a country's culture and its values are seen around the world.
Ah.
Like, are they a trendsetter? Are they attracting tourists and students, investors? Are other countries looking at them for inspiration?
Right.
These are all signs of strong soft power.
So it's less about crunching numbers and more about just observing how a country is perceived.
Yeah.
And how they're able to influence others through, their actions and their image.
Exactly. Yeah, it's about the subtle ripple effects, that spread outward from a country's culture and its values, its policies.
Yeah, this brings us to the digital age.
Oh, yeah.
The internet has totally changed the game, hasn't it?
Absolutely. It's a giant amplifier for soft power.
Totally, yeah.
Think about it. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Netflix.
Yeah.
They've given countries this crazy opportunity to showcase their culture to everybody.
It's like a 247 cultural exchange program happening right in our pockets.
Exactly.
Right. And it's not just governments anymore, pushing an agenda.
Right.
It's individuals, influencers, artists. They're all shaping perceptions and building connections through their online presence.
Yeah, think about all the K-dramas on all the streaming services. They've introduced millions of people to Korean culture.
Totally.
The language, even the food.
Oh my God.
And that's led to this giant surge of interest in everything Korean.
And I am living proof.
There you go.
I started watching K-dramas just for the romance, but now I'm obsessed with Korean skincare, the fashion.
Yeah.
I'm even trying to learn the language.
See, that's soft power in action.
That's amazing.
It's subtle, it's engaging, and it can have this huge impact on people's perceptions and their behaviors.
But here's a question. If these traditional measures of power, military strength, economic output,
yeah.
If those are becoming less important in a world dominated by, this digital influence, interconnected networks.
Right.
How do we measure a nation's strength in the future?
Oh, that's a tough one. It's we're trying to figure out the recipe for success in a world that never stops changing.
Totally. Yeah.
Is it still about GDP and military might? Or are there new things we need to be looking at, a country's digital footprint, its cultural influence, or its ability to attract global talent?
Right, yeah.
I think we have to look beyond the old ways of measuring and start considering factors like a nation's ability to innovate, its social progress, its commitment to the environment, and global cooperation.
So less about tanks and missiles.
Yeah.
And more about green technology, social justice, things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's about realizing that a country's strength comes not just from its hard power, but from its ability to inspire, to innovate, and to work with other countries on a global scale.
This makes me think about the Scandinavian countries.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not exactly known for their military, but they're consistently ranked among the happiest and most innovative and socially progressive countries in the world.
They've put a lot of resources into education, healthcare, social welfare.
Yeah.
And it's created a highly skilled and engaged population.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they've been at the forefront of sustainable development, gender equality.
Totally.
It's they're showing the world that there's a different way to be a leader.
Right.
One that's based on, cooperation and compassion.
Yeah.
And a commitment to making a better future for everyone.
It's a perfect example of how a country can use soft power to be influential globally.
Yeah.
And make a real difference in the world.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Good.
But let's not forget that soft power isn't always sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
There's a darker side to it, too.
Oh, absolutely. Just like any form of power, it can be misused, manipulated, even weaponized.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay.
What are some ways that it can be used for, less than noble purchases.
Well, for starters, it can be used to spread misinformation.
Oh, wow.
To manipulate public opinion and to meddle in other countries' business.
So we're talking like propaganda disinformation campaign, even like trying to influence elections.
Exactly. And with social media and the internet, it's gotten way easier for countries to spread their own stories.
Right.
Control what people think and believe, and even create problems between rival countries.
So it's like this battle for like hearts and minds is now happening online.
Yeah.
And the stakes are higher than ever.
Absolutely. And it's not always easy to see these tactics in action either.
Right.
It's like this shadowy game where countries are trying to influence each other without being obvious about it.
So how do we protect ourselves from this?
I think it all starts with thinking critically.
Okay.
Question everything you see and read online, especially if it feels like it's trying to make you feel a strong emotion.
Right. It's like we need to develop our own internal BS detector.
Exactly.
When it comes to soft power.
Yeah, and we have to hold those in power accountable too, you know? Whether it's governments, big companies, even influencers. We can't just follow trends without questioning where they came from and what the motivation is behind them.
This makes me think about all the celebrity scandals where people get canceled for saying or doing something offensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's like there's a whole new level of accountability.
Totally.
In the age of social media.
It shows how quickly public opinion can change and how damaging it can be to someone's reputation or even a country's image if they come across as insensitive.
Yeah, it's like the whole world is watching.
Yeah.
And everyone has a voice, which is great, but it can also be a little scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Depends how it's used.
It does. It really does. And this brings us to another interesting point. The power of individual stories.
Oh, yeah.
And personal experiences.
Yeah, in a world that's often dominated by, these huge institutions.
Right.
Big narrative.
Big ideas.
Yeah, real change comes from everyday people.
Totally.
Connecting with each other.
Yeah. Think about all the inspiring stories about people from different cultures coming together. Those moments where we see our shared humanity, despite our differences.
It's beautiful.
Those are the experiences that can change hearts and minds, build empathy, and ultimately make the world a better place.
It's like when you travel and you meet someone from a completely different culture and you realize you have so much in common.
Exactly.
Way more than you thought you would.
Those connections, those moments of understanding, that's the real soft power.
Yeah.
The kind that's based on genuine respect and wanting to connect with other people.
Okay, I'm feeling really inspired now.
I know, right?
But we can't just end on a super positive note, right? Yeah. We need to remember that there are challenges.
True.
Complexities, even potential dangers when it comes to soft power.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's not a magic solution to everything. It's a tool.
Yeah.
And it can be used in good ways or bad ways.
Right.
And as the world gets more connected and technology breaks down borders and these new power dynamics emerge.
Yeah. It's only going to get more complicated.
It is.
And harder to predict.
It really is.
So what can we do?
Yeah, what can we do?
How can we make sure that soft power is used to create a more fair and peaceful and sustainable world?
I think education is key.
Yeah.
We need to teach people what soft power is, how it works, and how to use it responsibly.
We need to give them the skills to think critically.
Absolutely.
So they can figure out what's real and what's fake.
Yes.
And make good choices about the cultures and the values that they embrace.
And we need to encourage dialogue and understanding between cultures.
Yeah.
Break down those stereotypes, create opportunities for people to connect and learn from each other.
We need to build a global culture of empathy.
Yeah.
Where we're all willing to listen, to learn, and to share our perspectives without judging each other.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
It's a big challenge, but it's one that requires all of us to work together. Governments, institutions, individuals, even social media platforms.
It's a tall order. It is. But I think it's worth it because ultimately, soft power is all about human connection.
Yeah.
Influence, persuasion.
Yeah.
And if we can harness that for good, imagine what we could achieve.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Right. This is just the start of the conversation.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you. Tell us what you think. So we talk about how countries are using soft power, but what about us? Regular people. Yeah. How does soft power affect our lives?
Well, think about the choices you make every day, like what clothes you wear, music you listen to, the shows you watch.
What?
All those things are influenced by soft power, whether you realize it or not.
It's true. It's like we're constantly surrounded by messages and images that shape how we see things.
Right, and all those choices you make, they actually contribute to the soft power of different countries or brands.
Whoa.
It's like this big cycle of influence and attraction.
Okay, my mind is blown. So let's say I'm obsessed with Korean skincare products. Does that mean I'm like adding to South Korea's soft power?
Yeah, so you're supporting Korean businesses, promoting their innovation, and maybe even inspiring other people to try them.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. Like I'm a tiny cultural ambassador or something.
Exactly. And the more people are open to and celebrate different cultures, the more we create a world where soft power is used to bring people together.
I love that.
For sure. And that can be both good and bad.
Yeah, for sure. It depends how it's used.
Exactly. And this brings us to another interesting point. The power of individual stories and personal experiences.
Oh, yeah. In a world that's often dominated by, big institutions and grand narratives, it's easy to forget that real change often starts with everyday people.
Absolutely.
Connecting with each other on a personal level.
Let's keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep working towards a world where soft power is a force for positive change.
Cheers to that. And keep that thirst for knowledge alive.
Absolutely.
Until next time, everyone.